Hey, I want to thank our new sponsor, Plutonium. Yes, Plutonium. If you're trying to heat your house, forget about solar or gas. Use Plutonium.
Hi, this is 50/50 Real Estate Podcast for the Common Man, where we talk about selling, buying, and investing in real estate. We aren't baffling you with BS. We're dazzling you with brilliance. We're not telling you how to become a millionaire. We are telling you stories, the truth, and the information no one is talking about. So sit back, listen, laugh, and enjoy 50/50 Real Estate Podcast for the Common Man.
Hey everybody, JD here. Hope you're looking good and feeling fine. Hopefully you had a great week with friends, neighbors, relatives, and acquaintances. I've been doing a lot of research, looking at the data, looking at homes for sale, homes listed, homes sold, looking at a lot of the articles that a lot of the real estate magazines and companies and data that they're producing and writing. And all of a sudden I came up with something that stood out. I thought, this is a conspiracy. I think these big, huge corporations, Wall Street corporations that have bought thousands and thousands of homes back then as investors. And, BlackRock, they don't really own property, but they own a lot of stock in companies that do. And Zillow, I think at one point owned 7,000 homes, and then they kind of closed down their home division. But they probably still have quite a lot in the inventory. And Redfin was doing this fix and flip operation. They probably have a lot of homes too that they might be holding. And quite a lot of other companies holding these properties that are probably trying to rent, and they're sitting vacant, or they are renting and the rents are coming up and they're trying to unload them. And I thought about this. I thought, wait a minute, how come everything people read, it says, the housing market's increased. The homes went up 2% this month or 3% this month. Homes are really selling. But then you look and you see a lot of homes that are taken off the market. They're not selling. And then, like I said, when you look at the homes that do sell, they've been decreasing their prices $10, $20, $30,000, and then also picking up another $5,000 to $10,000 in buyers' closing costs just to sell their homes. And I'm like, it's something just doesn't make any sense. If the market's this good, then why are the sellers lowering their prices and picking up a lot of the closing costs for the buyers? Why are the builders picking up a tremendous amount of costs and giving a lot of incentives? And I thought, there has to be some sort of conspiracy where everybody's in cahoots with each other. And I thought something just doesn't make any sense. And then I thought of years ago, I was talking to a manager of a liquor store. And I went in, I was going to get a bottle of wine. We were going to meet some people and have a dinner engagement. And I went and bought a wine. I don't know anything about wine. All wines taste the same. You can give me $5 bottle of wine or a $500 bottle of wine. It all basically tastes the same. So I was looking at getting a wine, and I noticed there was a whole bunch of wine. The wine racks were completely filled except for a few other wine racks, and they were just maybe 2 or 3 bottles. And I thought, wow, you know what? I bet you this wine is really, really good. So I went and I got a bottle of wine, and I went over And the owner, who knew me, said, "John, why are you getting that bottle of wine?" I said, "Well, it looks like it's really, really good because there's less of it. And there's a ton of all the other displays all completely filled." And he goes, "No, that's like really bad, cheap wine." And I said, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Well, how did you choose that?" And I said, "Well, there's only 3 or 4 bottles and all the rest are filled." And he went, "That's really interesting." So we chatted and we came up with a marketing ploy. And I've talked to a lot of businesses after that, and they've done the same thing. And they said, "John, it's really amazing. You were 100% right." So we came up with a marketing ploy. And what it was that the wine that was kind of cheap, not all that good, wasn't selling very much, he would short stack it. So the good wine he filled all the way up, and the wine he was trying to get rid of, he put 2 or 3 bottles down. And about a month later, I came by and we talked. He goes, "Oh, John," he said, "this is amazing." He said, "You came up with the best marketing idea I've heard for a long time, all because of your ignorance about wine and how you choose wine." He goes, "You're right. People would come in, they see less bottles of wine in the display, and they would assume that those less bottles of wine were better, and they buy the cheap wine and leave the really good wine alone." And he goes, "You're right. They just think since there's less of it, it's better wine." And so when I told a lot of the other store owners, they did the same thing. And it was really funny because it worked on t-shirts, socks, shoes, everything. So I started thinking about this. I thought, wait a minute. Maybe all these companies who are holding all these properties and I got stuck with all these properties are basically doing the same thing. It's a conspiracy. They're short stacking, basically, which means that they have all these properties. And like I said, there's big, huge Wall Street companies that have real estate. Redfin, Zillow, you name it. Nobody knows how much properties they own, but they probably do. And when they come out and you look around and nothing's selling, sellers are taking their homes off the market, but builders are giving incentives, the sellers that are selling are paying closing costs and lowering their price and so on. How come everything you read is real estate market's really improved today? This month it's went up 2.2%, and things are still selling and prices are raising. It's basically the same thing as the bottle of wine. If all these companies all of a sudden put all their product out on the front, people would come in just like I did with wine. Look at all these properties. Oh boy, maybe no one is really buying them. And since nobody's really buying them and there's so much inventory, we're just gonna basically just throwing in really, low ball offers because there's so many homes up for sale. And these big, huge companies would be losing their shorts. So what they do is they put out this propaganda because they own a lot of homes. And they say, oh, the market's still good. People are still buying. And wow, there's really, really a lot of lack of inventory that's out there, and not a lot of homes for sale, and a lot of people aren't selling their homes because they don't want to give up that 3-4% interest rate. So since there's such a lack of inventory, the housing market isn't going to go down, or a matter of fact, it's so much demand that the prices are still going up. It's short stacking. It's like, why are they going to put all their product out there and people say, wow, look at all these homes, and then they all of a sudden everybody is lowballing them, and all these massive companies holding these real estates are going to lose their shorts. They'll be filing bankruptcies. Their stock would go down the tubes. It's a disaster. So what they do is they have all these properties kind of like in the back room, and in order to fake or give a false price on the home and still have these homes way overpriced, they throw a few homes out there, kind of like the little short, put a few bottles out there, and people say, oh wow, look at market's still real good, not a lot of inventory out there. Yeah, go in the back room and see all the cases and cases and cases of bad wine that they're going to get rid of. But if they put it all out, nobody's going to buy it because they're going to go, wow, look at all this bad wine. I don't want to buy it. But if they put a few bottles out, people go, wow, look at this. This wine must be really good. Same thing. I think it's a conspiracy. I think pretty much what they're doing is they're falsifying the real estate market. They're all holding back because of the fact if they sell one home at a time, they're not going to take a massive loss. So they all get together and they say, look at, we all own thousands and thousands of properties, and if we all just put them on the market at once, the whole real estate market will collapse, and we'll just go in a massive recession, tons of foreclosures, tons of bankruptcies. And so what we'll do is we'll throw a little bit out there, keep the prices up, tell people the inventory is really lacking, and people are still buying, and homes are rising, and it's just one huge conspiracy. It's a bunch of lies. They're just manipulating the market. And a lot of the naive buyers are basically falling for this, and they're buying overpriced homes. And like I said, and nobody really can see between the lines. And like I said, I look at the data and I'm like, nothing's making sense here, because all these people own thousands of properties, and all these sellers who are selling, they're not getting anything like what they're listing for. They're lowering them $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And then you also look at their incentives, and they're also paying $5,000, $10,000 towards buyers' closing costs, and the new home builders are doing this. And I'm like, if the market were so good, why are the builders and the people selling homes lowering their prices and paying all these incentives? It's a conspiracy theory. They're manipulating the market and making it look as if the real estate market is still really strong, where in reality they're holding thousands of properties in their warehouse they can't get rid of. But they can't just unload them all, because like I said, it will just completely destroy the housing market, and the prices will be completely down. So they don't. They just throw, like I said, if they got thousands of homes in their warehouse, they throw a few out on the floor, keep the prices up, those sell, let's throw a few out. And yeah, we might have to hold the properties longer, but we're not going to take a massive loss. It's a scam. It's conspiracy, folks. Like I said, it's fake news, fake data. And like I said, if you went in and Let's say you were buying the bottle of wine, like I said, and you saw two, three bottles, and all the other bottles, or, displays were filled up, and you asked um, the counter clerk, "Hey, how's this wine?" He's going to probably go, because he has a ton of them in the back. He's going to go, "It's excellent wine. Wow, it's really good. It's our best seller." And you go, "Oh, yeah, I guess it is, because there's only three of them left, and all the other display cases are completely full." When it's the cheap junk wine, it's the same thing I think these big, huge companies, Wall Street companies, are doing, because of the fact they're holding a ton of properties and they're just throwing a few out. They sell, let's throw a few out more. They sell, and they're faking the market. They're manipulating the market. They're doing fake data, and then they do this and they say, "Wow, there's such a lack of inventory, and boy, the houses are still going up, even though people are paying 7% interest rates, and their payments of $4,000-$5,000 a month." I don't think so. It's a conspiracy, folks. It's manipulating. It's a scam. And I'll tell you, look really closely. Read the data and then see if it makes any sense to you, because it's all a crock of crap, to put it bluntly. It's just like what one of my friends say, you can spray a piece of crap gold, but it's still a piece of crap. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're spraying the real estate market with gold and telling us it's gold, but in reality, it's really crap. And like I said, it's manipulating. It's these huge companies, and people are buying it. I mean, I still see houses that sell, and I'm like, why are people paying these prices? They're crazy. They're paying these prices because they're reading the fake news, the BS that all these big companies are putting out to force the prices up so they don't take a bath. And when you pay an overprice for a home, they don't care. They have their Wall Street investors that they got to make tons and tons of money for, and they're not going to say, "Yeah, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of homes in the warehouse, and just be ready because they're all going to come out and the prices are going to go down the tubes." They're not going to say that. They're going to say, "Yeah, we only have three bottles left. It's a hot, the wine is phenomenal. It's our best sellers." That's what they're doing. It's a load of bull, folks. A load of bull. And a lot of these people are buying it. They're going out. Mostly a lot of their real estate agents, they got to make a living. I mean, what are they going to tell you? Don't buy a home? That's crazy. I mean, that's like going to the grocery store and people say, "You don't need to buy groceries. Just grow them, in your yard." I mean, everybody would be out of a job. So they go, "Oh, it's a great market. See, these articles, they basically went up. A lot of the housing market's going up. You better buy now, because they've got to make a living." And like I said, it is just a real estate manipulative market of these big, huge companies holding these tons of homes in inventory, all trying to fake and manipulate the market to convince the naive people that the real estate market is still going up. But when you look at it, it isn't. It's false. It's fake. It's total BS. And like I said, walk around, see how many homes are for sale, and maybe a few do, and then look at what they sell for. They never sell for what they're listing for. And then see the incentives the sellers have to pay to get rid of them. I'll tell you, the only people that are selling their homes are people who really have to move because they've lost a job, a divorce situation, and they just need out, so they take a loss. Or people with health problems, they need to move in a different location for health reasons or to be close to family. But the normal everyday person, they're not selling their homes. Because the fact is, the reason why they don't want to sell their homes is because they go out, they get pre-qualified, and the mortgage company says you can't even afford the home that you live in. So a lot of these people can't even afford the homes that they live in, so that's why they can't sell them. It's not that they don't want to move up, it's just they can't afford to move up. So, folks, I hope you do your research. Look at what I got to say, see if it's true or not, and if it is, then you're not going to be like a lot of the other crazy people who just believe everything they read. Like they said, I Googled it and it must be true. Well, folks, it's all fake news. Companies giving you fake data just to keep their profits high and not oversaturate the real estate market. But thank you very much for listening, folks. Make sure, hopefully I basically think there's a conspiracy out there with these big, huge Wall Street companies and these companies holding all these properties, forcing the real estate market and creating and manipulating the real estate market, that they're all basically just hosing a lot of the people who are out there trying to sell their homes or buy their homes. Well, thank you. Enjoy the week, and I'll talk to you in the future. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed the show, Real Estate for the Common Man. Please follow us or subscribe. Tell your friends, neighbors, relatives, and coworkers about us. We're on all your major podcast apps: Amazon, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. If you can't remember all that, just Google it, or have your friends Google Real Estate for the Common Man and it will come up. Again, we thank you very much for your time, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hey, if you live in Colorado Springs and want to buy or sell a home, you can look us up at soldrealestatecompany.com, as in I sold a home. Again, thank you very much. Have a very good week, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye for now.